We back at the Real Shop Talk. Just Right Barber's Lounge. The last segment of the night is called Ass Whoopings.
Woo!
What was your worst ass whooping, and do you whoop your children's ass?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you a mother. You a mother. So,
Yeah.
you know, y'all normally the soft ones, you know.
Alright.
The daddies normally the ass whoopers.
And my father gave me the worst ass whooping in front of the classroom too. So I got my butt whooped in front of the classroom. I forgot why. My teacher kept calling him for whatever reason. And the whole school year, everybody was like, kapsh, kapsh. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they heard me get my butt. It wasn't even in front of the class. It was in the hallway, but they heard me get my butt whooped in the hallway. So the whole year they, teasing me like that. But do I whoop my children now? No.
Oh my God.
But it's not because of that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's because of I really associated with slavery, and I feel like there's other ways of disciplining children without, having to beat them. I ain't saying that children don't need to get their ass whooped. I'm not saying that I wouldn't pop my children, but to go get a belt and whip them, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. I will pop the shit out their ass.
So, you going next?
Yeah, let me go first. The rest of first. Huh? You work first if you got it.
We all got one.
Remember my worst whipping, because I've been getting my ass whipped a lot. So all of them felt the same because my mother tried to outdo the last one. So all my ass whippings is real. But the question I have is now, because I have a daughter, I never beat or spanked my daughter. So
you the punk.
So I'm asking us men that have daughters, should we spank them?
No.
I'm gonna chime in on that.
No.
Yes. That's the mother's job, man.
But, okay, it's the mother's job, but what if your discipline is different from the mom?
Yes. Hold on. Once again, it's situation. I have a son and a daughter.
Right.
And been having a son and a daughter. My baby girl is my baby girl. I love her to death. It is not that. And my baby girl has gotten whoopings less than my son. But the fact of the matter is I have to be fair across the board as a parent. And if she breaks a certain rule or a certain statute that I place as a parent, and I held my son to that statute, I have to hold my daughter to that statute. And so therefore, if she breaks that, then it's not fair to my son that I let her get away with it. I have to be fair across the board. So therefore, I will spank my daughter. Now, it'll hurt me to my soul to do it, but I will do it for the fact of the matter that I set this ground rule, I set this standard, I set this, for lack of a quote unquote rule, and I'm going to hold, no matter who it is, to that standard. So, yeah, and my worst ass whooping was, my father established himself as the meanest man in our whole entire neighborhood. I got whooped one time so bad that he had left my window open that the thugs and the gangsters around the neighborhood would not even come through my neighborhood or come through on the side. They wouldn't walk on the same side of the street as my house because they were scared of my father. They said, "Young, I swear to God, I thought your father was killing me." That's how. So my worst ass whooping is when I got whooped so bad that my friends felt bad for me. Everybody the people in my neighborhood felt bad for me because my father set a standard, and I broke that standard, and he held me to that standard.
Let me answer Tay's question first about the daughter. I don't whoop my daughter and will not whoop my daughter for a different reason. For the reason that I believe that we, as fathers, teach our daughter what's acceptable for men. So, if it's acceptable for me to beat your ass, it's acceptable for that nigga to whoop your ass. In her mind.
Wrong context, though.
In her mind.
That's the wrong context.
It is the wrong context. But a man putting their hands on you is a man putting their hands on you.
That's two different contexts.
No, let's stay on subject because I don't agree with that either.
I'm with that. I don't.
Hey,
It's like letting them
no,
watch
no,
TV.
I don't know.
It's like letting them watch videos on TV and playing videos and they shooting guns. Don't mean you gotta let them. There's a fine line
So
to
it is a
teaching.
fine line, but you also gotta understand, and I guess this is the psychologist in me. If you go back and study serial killers, they started with shooting video games. The mindset was taught through either some type of violence, some type of TV show, some type of video game. It was deeply rooted into them through something that was taught to them through a parent or through a social, whether it be TV, video game, or something like that.
And watch this, here's what Trump psychology, the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child.
How do you define the rod? The rod is a depiction of discipline. It's discipline,
In the original Hebrew, it was a literal rod.
which
It was a
was a
literal
depiction
rod.
for what?
Hold
Discipline.
on, hold on.
I mean, we can use whatever word we want to use, whether it was a rod, whether it was your hand, it doesn't make a difference. There was something used to flog whoever.
But the symbolism was of discipline.
Hold on,
Absolutely.
hold on, listen,
And the
listen.
discipline came through flogging.
Hold on.
Or using a rod.
Hold on, listen. So my thing is, I hear what you're saying, Tom. But see, it's when you're talking about in my mindset, you're talking about a whooping versus a beat. Alright? So when I whoop my daughter, and then I have a conversation. This is why
This is
I
why.
did what I
have a
did.
conversation
This
before and after.
yeah, before and after.
I'm listening.
Go ahead.
This is the standard that you wrote. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is how I feel after and why I did. So we have a conversation. She understands. This is for that particular reason.
Who was Brown Bella? She just called somebody out. He does not know.
Keep going. I know. I see it. Keep going, Ron.
So therefore, I understand what you're saying, Tony. But this is not beating my daughter. This is me disciplining my daughter.
Now I have popped the right hand. I have popped her hand.
That's discipline.
But taking a belt out and spanking her, it's not.
You used the method in which you used it.
Like, I got a daughter, and I explain to her when she gets out of line, when she does something that she's not supposed to do, what's going to happen. And that, I had to be the one time it was bad. After that, I have no problems. I don't even have to say anything, because she knows what's going to happen. I didn't even explain to her, you know what's going to happen to you if you do something that you're not supposed to do.
Do we really want our children to fear us though?
It's not about fear. It's respect.
So I'm not.
Fear and respect is two different things.
Not necessarily, not in the biblical
See, and that's
sense.
what, and indeed, and that's why
My daughter
everybody
loves me.
Christians now.
And I done
because
whooped that
you
ass.
put fear into people. You make people so scared when they submit. That's the same thing we do with our children. We'll whoop them so we submit. Like discipline does not have to be physical. And sometimes it all depends on the emotions of the child. You can think you raising your child to be however you want them to be, that they're still their own person. So when if the child don't receive your discipline as discipline, and it's more like betrayal.
Sometimes you get the reverse reaction from it.
Huh?
Hey,
Yeah,
this, I'm gonna say this part. I grew up uptown. Me and my little cousin, we grew up together. I'm quite sure she probably watching. We done took some ass whooping, and then we got away with it.
But you know what?
Some stuff. I feel like it had
Children,
a good effect on me based on the outcome of
who you are.
who I am today as a man. And I went through some struggles with my own self, but I don't see anything wrong
But
with
you
a
gotta
good ass
teach
whoop.
children too today. You know, like the children are not like how we were. We have a whole.
Why
different
are they not like
respect.
we are?
Because
we don't.
Because we don't want us to be the same way they were. The tradition on the ass whoopings we caught.
Hey, hold on. That. So you talking about faith. My daughter knows to death that her father loves her.
But
Hold on.
What you talking
Hold
about?
on. My daughter knows to death her father. She understands because I one of the biggest focuses I had for me, even it's not the everybody focuses on the whooping. It's the lesson that I'm teaching her that this is the reason why I'm doing it. And hold on, on top of everything else, it's the relationship I have as my daughter. I will, for lack of a better word, me and him, when we on the football field, sometimes he plays good cop, I play bad cop. Sometimes he plays bad cop, I play good cop. But the fact of the matter is when I had the relationship I had with my daughter, I discipline her, and then what? After that, I love her. And I show her that, I show her my
father in the world, so I'm not saying that you can't discipline or whoop your child, or there's anything wrong with a father disciplining his daughter. I love my father. My father could do no wrong, but what I'm saying is the difference between the children now and us is a big gap. They got the whole technology age, like the whole world's in the palm of their hand. They scared to go outside and ride a bike, as well as some parents don't even send their children outside to play because of the fear that somebody's going to take their child. When we didn't have these type of fears growing up, we could go outside and play. We could get out.
Oh man, that's all the way to Mount Random, Virginia, from Northwest DC.
You hear me?
That's us allowing society to do what? Raise the children the way. I'm gonna raise my child my way.
Let me get mine in real quick. Let me get mine in real quick. So my worst whooping was, man, I was in school. And I'm talking about, man, I lied to my parents, like, right in their face, in front of the teacher and everything. And got caught in my lie. And I'm talking about, man, I rolled that lie all the way home, but it ended up turning out to be a lie. Man, my father gave me a mean joint with his hand. I'm talking about, put the leg over the lock, did this right here. I'm talking about, man, in war. I'm talking about, man, just tore my ass up. And I couldn't even really sit down. Yeah, it hurt. Now, to address, do I believe in spankings, whoopings, whatever you want to say? I don't use the word beat with my daughter or anything like that, because she's younger, so I either say pop or spanking. Now that she's 8 years old, pop is like you a little kid, now it's like you're going to get a spanking. Now, for me and my daughters, I sit them down, and this goes back to what our first conversation was, communication. I communicate. Did we have a conversation about you doing X, Y, and Z? Yes. So you made a choice to do what you wanted to do after I told you many times not to do it, correct? Yes. This is why you're going to get a spanking, because you did exactly, you made a choice to do what you were not supposed to do. A little spanking, and I don't go ham or nothing like that. I just get a good, you know, she gonna cry, just how I feel. And it don't even really be hard. It just be, but it's just the understand. It's just the understanding that I got in trouble, and more so, she's like, "Dang, I just let my daddy down. I just let my mother down. Dang, I can't believe I did that." So she's crying out of that right there. Then after that, I sit her down and say, "Daddy doesn't like to give you spanking." Exactly. You cannot do.
Does that stop the message though?
You cannot make a choice to do things that you're not supposed to do.
Of the ass whooping? Does that stop the message of the ass whooping though?
Hold on.
Let's get you.
It seems as though for most of the males. No, I mean, clearly we established something here that I don't have a daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. I have a 25-year-old son that's 6'6". My God, whoop his ass.
Yeah,
But I also feel like now at this age and this time, maybe we can talk a tad bit more than we could when we was younger. Because Knox my witness. Well, I'm sorry. Let's just start with Coach Rodney and Coach Knox. I'm talking. We're not even going to add Coach Tony and Coach Tay yet. We're just going to say from when my son was young, I always felt like my mother, hated if I listen to me. She would always say, "I ain't whooped your." Mama, is you whooping? Are we having some sort of blog where you're forgetting the ass whoopings that, like, you giving me some? Yeah, you might not have given me a lot, but the ones you gave me was meaningful. Right here, they sit in my mind. That's all I'm saying. They sit in my mind, Ma. Don't tell me not to whoop him, because it seems like we're all soft for the girls. Cause that's what I'm hearing. I heard him say the girl. You say I spanked her hand. But the boys, I watched him whoop his ass. So there's a clean difference in how we treat our daughters versus how we treat us. Shit! Boy, you think I'm playing with you? I know what he about to get. Now normally this Coach Nice. You know this is what everybody calls him, Coach Nice. Let one of the sons do some juice. I can't take it. Javon, I'm kidding when I say it. Because we use those words with our sons. Because we want our sons to be tough. We want them not to fear man. But when we talk about daughters, shit, if I talk about my goddaughters, I mean, shit, they do no wrong. I giggle when I know I probably shouldn't giggle at something they say.
Mariah can't do no wrong.
I think it's the funniest thing in the world. But let the boys do something.
I'm on that ass.
Top of this shit.
Come here!
So I just want to push everybody. Let's very clear. I whooped my son's ass, and my father fucked me up. Fucked me up. The worst ass whooping I got, I'll never forget. I was in first grade kindergarten, one of them, and I used to walk home 3 blocks from school. So back then, teachers used to send notes home with you.
Oh Lord, Jesus!
And the teacher wrote a note
And cursing.
and gave me a note
In person.
and said, "Get this to your father." Right?
Didn't get that.
Hell to the
Now, remind you, I said I walked 3 blocks to get home. Now, growing up in the city, grew up in Jersey, you can imagine how many trash cans I passed
Oh, endless.
on the way home. Me, I wait till I get home and take the paper and put it in the trash can in the house.
Oh.
A week go by, I think I'm good. Okay, trash out. My father goes out. It's Halloween. I never forget. It's Halloween. Have my astronaut costume on, ready to go to grandma's house to Halloween party.
He sent you to space.
My father goes outside. He said the trash cans out. Must have been trash day. I'll never forget it. Clear as day. He comes back in the house and says, "You take all that shit off." And I'm like, "What? What the fuck is this?" And I give him a dumb look. Yeah, I don't know. It's a piece of paper. Oh, it's a piece of paper, huh? Then he reads the shit to me. And I was like, oh, I'm not whooping your ass because you got a note. I'm whooping your ass because you was stupid enough to put in the trash can in the house. Whooped my ass for about 10 minutes. It felt like it.
You know who showed him that note? God showed him that note.
Exactly.
God showed him.
So hold on.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Exactly.
Let me ask this.
Hold on, can I'm gonna go back to
I'm
the
sorry. Go ahead. I'll say
So
my
I
first.
have 2 daughters. I know.
You suck.
Say that for the record.
Now, Samaj, my youngest daughter, is 11. She doesn't really she hasn't worn that physicality, that hand smack. I don't know what her mom does at the house, which I don't even want to imagine. But I haven't had to do that, but I had a discussion where I said, please, I told you, like you said, you want to, I probably go more chances than my father and mother ever did. Like, didn't I just tell you? I just told you, see, this is what I mean. This is why you get in trouble. And then it shut down. Now, Simone, we probably had 2 moments, one as a child, one as an adult. But once again, I didn't have to. I popped Simone when she was about 3. She was pulling on the door while we on 295. And I know my fear kicked in, like, you know, it's an older vehicle, so you don't know, you just, ain't no power locks. Like, girl, what you doing? Popped her one time, didn't have to pop her no more. We had a verbal exchange one time because I've been so buddy-buddy with her over the years that for the first time, she was talking a little strong, and I felt like she had forgot, like, what the hell? I'm not your little friend around the corner. And, you know, we had a little verbiage, and she got mad, we got off the phone, but, you know, other than that, physicality. Now, I don't think I wouldn't because she's a girl. I would prefer, I don't like, for example, if my boys grow up with their mother, I wouldn't want her to call me and say, you need to come over here and whoop his ass. I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't do that to my daughter's mother. I'm not calling her to tell her to come to my house or to have the same emotion that I got for my daughter. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do it right there. Like, I will say, whooping the boy probably going to be a little different than beating my daughter or whipping my daughter. Probably going to be 2 or 3 pap-paps on the leg. Now, the sons, they gonna probably get it, like, and I didn't have to discipline them a lot physically because I did a lot of threatening, I did a lot of talking. I had Rodney come talk to J-Ron, Juice talk to, everybody. I'm with that because that's what I've been doing all my life, going to people's houses. When the parent having tough time with the kid, just trying to find a way out. Now, one time they stole my money, and I just went to work on both of them. They confessed, told them both on each other. First was he did it. By the time we came out of them rooms, they all was confessing like we was down there with Hank in Chicago PD, in the J's. My worst whooping,
Boy.
I think I was probably, I don't know if I was in second grade, maybe first or second, third. And after I took my bath, I used to soak up the whole tub and slide scriptures. Oh, slide down. And I remember my father came there and said, "Boy, stop playing there, get on out of that bathtub." And I know I heard it, and I knew the consequences was some kind of way your fun overwhelmed me. And I started doing it again and forgot. I didn't hit a door. I just saw the curtain just yank back, and I was nice and soapy and wet. And he took that door, I told you that, and then they talk about it hitting you like, and I think my father never had a minimum of 20 strokes. It was like 20 or better, which, today would probably be, you probably get 30 days for the last 18.
Nah, I feel your pain. Mine's just the same way. Going to school out Capitol Heights, got home, got a call. Father came home from work. I'm in the motherfucking tub, soap all over me. I hit a motherfucker. This nigga even opened the door. This nigga kicked that bitch in. Flung the curtain back. I saw was a belt in his hand. What the fuck I tell you? That's all I heard. Belt hit me. Soap going this way. My hands in the air.
Oh man. But one more thing about the fear that Pumpkin said something about your kids fearing you. I never wanted my kids to fear me. I wanted them to fear the discipline that they could get.
Bingo.
By disobeying or even acting out. So because I see, as all of us see as coaches, maybe even you see, as a hairstylist, there's some people out here scared of the kids now. So the fear never was it never was the other way. So now it's vice versa, the wrong way. Now it's parents that fear their kids. Like, I ain't going to their room. They could bring home the worst report card every week and every month. Hey, mom, she'll go get on the teachers, but get on him, or her, so that's a sad thing to see.
That's why people beat their children is because they don't want them to cross them as when they become adults. Not
just the world. You just want to be better. It's just a discipline. Unfortunately, like you said, because of their exposure to the world, they got more. You're right. They got more exposure, so the peer pressure becomes harder for them, and that means the lack of self-discipline becomes even more struggle for them. Because they know right and wrong, they know. But if 5 of them doing it, they don't want to be the only one not. They don't have the ability, they're not strong enough to separate themselves from the 5 that's doing wrong. They rather hang with them.
We do the shit too. We'll give them the shit to babysit them, for us to do whatever, And but fear, it seems like, we're scared that our children want to grow up to be this. Cause and effect. The effect could be consequences too. So my child, and I got 2 boys. My oldest son, he bigger than me now, and now, sometimes I do feel like I be wanting to call his father, which ain't his biological father, but it's his father. He's like, look, come over here and get him, but he will not do it. And I feel like he's being soft. You feel what I'm saying? And there be times where I be like, look, son, you gonna give up that motherfucking game or we gonna fight to the death. I don't give a fuck. You can get mad, you can huff and puff, but I will wreck you in this joint. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just point blank period. And I feel there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not beating him.
But you're setting,
you're
in your discipline, and by you're setting a standard of what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate.
But you're not doing anything wrong.
Because the discipline is I'm taking your game from you because of what you did. So that's my discipline. But if you're not gonna just surrender. This is a game,
Okay, so what if he doesn't do what you asked him to do?
I ain't giving you shit.
What you mean?
Basically,
The respect and the love that he has for his mother is that's gonna be where it be.
But what happens the one time that the love, see, at the end of the day, I was never the type of disrespect my mother. But you just said why you did it. So what if he decides that you ain't getting this game? Alright, so because I got a game scheduled tonight. You ain't taking it.
So bring it all back together. on the topic of ass whoopings as we wrap it up. I want the audience and everybody to understand, like, there's a thin line between fear and respect. And when you're disciplining, regardless of what your discipline is, because I have my views and opinions, and as we all do, and we were all brought up in different ways, which affects how we discipline. At the end of the day, from my perspective, I feel you want your child to respect you, and you impose discipline, whatever that discipline is, that's equal to the infraction, because in life there's cause and effect, but at the end of the day you want your child to respect you. Because the thing about fear is that one day fear wears off, and then comes rebellion. So, and then it just gets real tricky. So, great segment. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight.
Real quick before you close. I'm sorry, real quick before you close. I'm super sorry. But I have to ask this. And maybe this will be for next week, but I just want to pose it so folks that may be watching can either chime in or do whatever. At what point do you cut off being friends with your kids? Or do you, are you with being your
We ain't
child?
never friends.
Thank you.
I know we not, I know. some
Never.
people here may not be.
Never.
We don't have time to go
And that's for next week. That's next week.
That's next week.
Tune in next week as we go into that topic again. Thank you all for tuning in to the Real Shop Talk at Just Right Barbers Lounge. We at 9812 Piscataway Road.